Hey everybody, it's Vanessa here again, motivational speaker and head coach at Live, Love, Give, and I've got a special message for you guys which is all about blame. And this is a really special topic to me because I've learnt so much in terms of how blame, there is never any reason to have any blame. Blame never ever serves. So I want to dive into that with you, and nice to have you join me live today, Julie. Appreciate having you here. Thank you so much. And Savula, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, awesome to have you guys. And I want to talk to you about a lesson that I've learned in terms of where blame never serves. And it's a really difficult lesson. It was for me to learn this, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys out there, because we're in a society where somebody has to be blamed. There has to be a victim and there has to be a culprit, you know, an offender. And, you know, you can look at it on the surface level and, you know, you look at our legal system and you can see how that pans out and you can see the benefits of having those ideas at times. But ultimately, I'm really talking into why do we have this mentality that we need to either blame another person or we need to blame ourselves? And I wanted to put this message out to you guys and share a fresh perspective with you about how blame never ever serves, whether it's to another person or whether it's to yourself. Blame insinuates that I'm going to give all of my power and responsibility to you. You know, or I'm going to take all the power and responsibility from you. So, you know, in terms, I hear from so many people who, you know, in terms of relationship, where one person is blaming the other person and the other person is blaming themselves. And it creates this horrible dynamic where love cannot exist and we can't move past it and connect with one another. So my message is that, you know, ultimately, when we talk into and use the example of the breakdown of relationship, you know, it's only when we can ultimately take full responsibility, 100% responsibility. Each individual in that relationship takes that full responsibility for where the relationship is currently at, and without any blame of the self or the other person. And you are fully committed to doing whatever it takes to create a new, compelling future for the relationship. That is the only time your relationship is ever going to thrive. And if you are holding on to blame of yourself or of your partner or the other person, you're never going to break free. You're never going to experience the real depth that you can in relationship until you lose that blame. And you've got to be the one who does the work on you to overcome that blame. So awesome. I just want to check in with you guys here. And thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I'm just scrolling up so I don't miss any of you. Emma, awesome to have you. Carly, Jaden, and you're back. Awesome to have you again. Thanks so much. And Eric, I love having you here. And Judy and Manu. And yeah, thank you so much. And George, and yeah, awesome, guys. Alex, thank you so much for joining me. I absolutely love getting to connect with you. Make sure you're dropping any questions, comments in the comment section now, and I will definitely get to them. Thanks so much for joining me, Andy. Awesome to see you. And yeah, so that's my message for you guys. You know, blame never ever serves. Okay, so you know, take a look at your life right now, and I want you to ask yourself honestly, is there a person in your life that you are holding resentment towards because you're blaming them for something? Or is it you who you're blaming? Are you feeling some form of guilt in your life and you're blaming yourself harshly for something that's happened that you cannot change? And I want you to start focusing on your emotional intelligence with this. You know, how does you blaming another person or blaming yourself empower you? And the answer is, it never ever does. You know, you totally disempower yourself when you're holding on to any form of blame of another or of yourself. And if you want true freedom, then you need to set yourself free by removing that blame and doing the work around that to break through. So yes, thank you. And yeah, I've also got a couple of questions that people have sent through to me, so that I wanted to definitely make sure that I was answering those for you guys today. And like I said, drop any questions, comments, if you guys want to talk into blame, into relationships, whatever's on top of your mind right now, whatever your challenge is. But the first question that I wanted to get to in this live today came from Marie, and I've just written it here. She said, how do you end a relationship healthily? And I thought that this was too good a message, too good a question to just write a written response just to her. I thought that, you know, it's such a powerful question to ask and get the answer to. So I think it's too good to not talk about here. So what I wanted to express to Marie and to you guys out there who are also looking to understand how you can leave a relationship or end a relationship in a healthy way. And I've had the great pleasure of being able to interview Catherine Woodward Thomas, who was the founder of Conscious Uncoupling. And she is a phenomenal woman who, you know, when you hear her story, it will blow your mind in terms of what she's managed to do in terms of the breakdown of her relationship with her ex-husband, who she has a beautiful daughter with. They actually live in the same apartment building, you know, on top of each other's floors or something. And, you know, they have this beautiful friendship. This, like, it will blow your mind, because most of us, when we think about the end of a relationship, it's just painful. We never want to see them again. Like, we're just, you know, all of this pain and negativity, and we're too fearful to want to be a part of their lives moving forward because of our own fears, you know. And I am a really big believer in doing the work on you. And that is the only way that you can leave a relationship in a healthy way, because you can never, ever, ever control how the other person will respond to the breakdown of that relationship. And you don't know how they're going to handle it. And the more you put time, energy, and focus on how they're showing up, or what they could potentially, how they could respond or react, you know, you're pulling yourself away from the opportunity of creating a really healthy end to a relationship. And I like to really, when I work with people on the end of relationships, you know, it can be a very depressing, sad time for a lot of people. But I really believe that the only reason it feels that way is because we're focusing on what we're losing, we're focusing on the pain, and we're missing every amazing experience that we've had, every lesson that we've learned, and we're missing the fact that we can create something truly compelling and exciting in our future. And it's because we get stuck in our scarcity mindset. It's often the reason why people stay stuck in an unfulfilling relationship, and they don't grow and they don't move forward, and they never get to experience, you know, the depth of what you can with another human being. And ultimately, you know, I want to say to you people that you need to shift your mindset into abundance. And the only way that you're going to have a healthy relationship, and therefore, you know, create a healthy ending to a relationship at some point if you need to, you know, the only way you'll ever have health in your relationships is if you have that focus on you, and you are so good within you that ultimately you're looking to that relationship as something that makes life better. It can make you happier, but it is not your source of happiness. And you need to ultimately, if you're looking to end a relationship and you want to do it in a healthy way, you got to do the work now. You got to do the work to own who you really are, own what you really want, and get into a loving, centered place. And I do have a process that I take people through based on some work that John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, he does some phenomenal strategies which I've tweaked, and I've used time and time again with myself in terms of in relationship where I have been feeling any sort of negative emotion that I needed to work through. And ultimately, I found that this same process is so beneficial to anybody, and particularly if you're looking to end the relationship and you want to do it in a healthy way, you've got to have a process where you're working through all of the emotions. And there's a strategic way of doing that that allows you to fully feel through everything without suppression and actually, surprising or not, get to a place where you are in a state of love and gratitude and appreciation for the other person, for the relationship, and you're in a position to move forward. So if any of you out there are struggling at the moment and that's something that you feel you're in a position where you've got some resentments, there's some breakdowns in the relationship, or you're looking to move on and step up, then I would encourage you to reach out to me and we'll jump on a quick call and I'll share that with you. So definitely, it's just a bit too long to go through in a Facebook Live today, but I hope that that has resonated with you guys. I hope that that's been helpful. And before I get to another question, I just want to check the feed here. And what have we got? Shai, thank you so much for joining me. Awesome to see you. And Rory, blaming never changes the situation. We must take responsibility for every part of our life. Keep up the great videos. Thank you so much, Rory. And I totally 110% agree with that. And I really hope that this is resonating out there for you guys, because blame really just causes more damage. You know, it keeps us stuck. It keeps us in this victim mentality and it prevents us from growing. So whether or not you're blaming yourself or you're blaming another person, I want you to really look at that. I want you to question, how is this even serving me? What damage is this doing, and what am I going to do to move forward? So I hope that served, and thank you so much for sharing your feedback there, Rory. I really appreciate it. And hi to you, Maritesh. Nice to see you again. And Michael and MD, nice to see you. And Eric, we are responsible for what we do, say, but not what people think about us. Yeah, true. There's an awesome quote about that slipped my mind right now, but it's not going to come to me. It might come to me later. But yes, I totally agree. You know, you've got to be responsible for, you are totally got to be responsible for the meanings that you create, the things that you focus on, you choose to focus on, and ultimately the actions that you take based on those meanings and that focus. So yes, awesome comment there, Eric. Thank you for sharing. And Caroline, awesome to see you. Thank you for joining me live today. And Randy, victims, okay, that's a weird comment. Not sure how to take that one, but maybe you can clear that up for me. But awesome, guys. I hope that that's been valuable. And I want to move on to, I've got two more questions that I really want to get to, because you guys have, you know, reached out to me, asked these questions. I really want to make sure that I answer them. And when I get a good question that I think, you know, would resonate with many people, I want to definitely make sure I'm answering it live, so that potentially it could resonate with more of you out there. So thanks for sending your questions through, and make sure that you keep doing that, because I love that. So thank you so much. And Donald, nice to have you here. And Kevin, the fight between what you know and what you feel. Yes, okay, so the fight between what you know and what you feel. Yeah, so that's kind of like the battle between the head and the heart, isn't it? And I really do believe that when we can shift more into our hearts and out of our heads that just overcomplicate everything, you know, that's where our real truth lies. To slow down, check in internally, and you always have the answers. You always know what the right thing to do is. And a lot of people think, you know, you got to have that combination. My experience has been is that when you tap into your heart to me is your truth. You know, it's your core. It's beyond the thinking mind, the fearful mind. It is really tapping into that deep inner knowing that you have. And that deep inner knowing is always going to honor, respect, love, and accept yourself. And it's going to come from a position of knowing what is the best thing for you, and therefore ultimately the best thing for the other people who love you and are around you. So hope that that's helped. And Anatha, sorry about this. I always get your names a bit muddled. Hi, Vanessa. How to diagnose an illness through visualization, and how to keep on track in attracting positive energy? Interesting question. To be honest, I haven't had experience. I don't totally know how you would use visualization to diagnose an illness per se. But definitely in terms of keeping on track in attracting positive energy. And it's funny because the question coming up is about visualization, so maybe that will help in terms of what you're talking about there. But in terms of attracting positive energy, you attract what you identify with. So if you find that you're attracting a bunch of negativity, then you got to look at yourself. You know, everything starts with how you're energetically showing up. And it also starts with you getting intentional about how you want to show up and what you're looking to attract. So you've got to, I was just working with a beautiful client yesterday where I was helping her get really clear on what those feelings were that she was looking to experience in her life. So often we set goals for ourselves and it's not the thing, it's not the tangible thing, the goal that we're actually looking to achieve. What we're really chasing is the feelings that we believe it will generate when we reach that goal. So what I would say is, if you're looking to attract that positive energy, then you've got to set intentions and know that that's how you want to feel. So what is that? So if it's positivity, right, then you've got to set your intentions each and every day. Create a ritual that allows you to tap into, once you've identified those feelings, that your ultimate feelings that make you feel most like you, that are your coming from your higher self and moving you towards the direction of your dreams. Then you've got to identify what those are and create a little ritual. Maybe it's write it on a post-it note. Maybe it's, you have it next to your bed, and each morning you pick up that piece of paper that has those feelings, maybe those 3 ideal feelings that you want to experience. And attracting positivity could be one of the feelings that you want to have. And you wake up, look at that piece of paper, put your hand on your heart and breathe it in. Breathe into those feelings that you're looking to experience. Breathe into that positive energy. It sets your day up to win with such intention, and that is ultimately how you're going to end up attracting more positivity into your life, because you attract what you identify with. Hope that helped, Anitha. Thank you so much for the questions. And Anne, how about going from a terrible end of a marriage to the point of my ex absolutely hates me? What motions I can take to begin healing this relationship for future health of our relationship as parents, to soften his anger towards me? Awesome, Anne. I appreciate your awesome questions every single time you jump on here. So thank you again. I absolutely love when you challenge me with these questions on the fly, because I love that. I get so much energy from that. Awesome question, and something that we need to move out of. So when we put our power in another person and we're trying to change how they feel about us, we're not honoring ourselves, and therefore we attract the negative response from others. Now, I hope that makes sense. So, when we are seeking that validation, and I know, Anne, you seem like somebody who does a lot of work, so I'm certain that, you seem to be quite certain within yourself, and I can tell that you've got quite a good relationship with yourself. But what I'm really meaning here is sometimes we're oblivious to the idea that when we're seeking that external validation, no matter what it is, from another person, and we're holding on and focusing on them changing their opinions and reactions to us, we're telling ourselves subconsciously that we deserve that sort of treatment, and we've got to prove to them that we don't, but we're kind of believing in it and attracting it. So what I would say to you, Anne, is that you just need to be the bigger person. You need to be the leader, and you need to, it's that age-old saying, treat others how you wish to be treated, but you've got to treat yourself that way too, and not take that on. And I realize, you're telling me you've got children involved, so your focus, and it's a wonderful focus to have, obviously, making sure that you as parents can move forward and have a great relationship where your children are not affected. But ultimately, like I always say, you can never control another human being. All you can do is be a role model for yourself and for your beautiful children. Be that leader in that relationship with your ex-partner, and step up and own who you are, love who you are. Don't accept poor treatment, and you know, be loving towards them. You know, the cure for fear, because that's what it is when he's angry, he's just feeling insignificant, he's in a lot of fear. The cure for fear is love, always. So, and in every moment we have a choice between whether we choose fear or we choose love. And when we focus on trying to change that person's opinion of us or reaction to us, we're in fear, right? And they're in fear. So it just magnifies it. We stay stuck in that negativity. And so what I would say is to build that consciousness around asking that question, am I choosing love or fear here? And how would love show up here? And that's how you're going to be that leader in that energy, and you're going to be able to move forward. And I really hope that served you, Anne. I hope that answered your question. Let me know. And Donald would like to stop the theater of the mind. Yeah, our minds can go off and they can be pretty entertaining at times. But my advice to you there is, I'm not sure it's if you've got a meditation practice, and you've probably heard this 10,000 times, but ultimately, the reason why I've heard it so many times and to stop and do this meditation is so that you can become consciously aware of the chatter in your mind. It's not actually about, people mistake meditation for this ability to just completely clear the mind, like you have no chatter going on, or no, as you say, Donald, theater in your mind. But ultimately, it's just so that you can be an observer of those thoughts and not be taken away from them. And so, yeah, I hope that helps there, Donald. And so I would say, if you don't already, start a meditation practice. I use the Daily Calm, awesome app, beautiful, you know, you can do for any length of time. And I really enjoy, I've forgotten her name, but I really enjoy her. She delivers such great positive messages, inspirational messages at the end of the meditation, and it always keeps me coming back for more, because I like variety. I don't like it to be the same every day. So I hope that helps. And Carolyn, yes, what we put out there comes back to us. So true. Yes, exactly. So take ownership of that. Empower yourself. Know that you've got that power. So whatever you're putting out there, you're going to get back. So start owning that, being intentional about what you want to experience and attract in your life, and start putting that energy out there. And Chuck, thank you for thinking outside the box. Thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate that. And yeah, love that you're enjoying it and getting value. So thank you so much. And nice to have you, Naima. And that was a very aha moment for me. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And so I'm so grateful for that, Anne. I'm really pleased that message resonated with you. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for letting me know. And Eric, thank you again as well. And guys, I always go over time, but I really did promise that I'd get these couple of questions answered. So I want to hit them really quickly and hope that they're valuable to you. Leone asked me, how do you do visualization? And this one is something that when I first started trying out visualization, I just couldn't do it. Like, it was so difficult. Like, I was at a live event with thousands of people in the room, and I remember just standing there and closing my eyes, and we're all trying to go through this visualization, and I was opening my eyes and looking around the room and thinking, like, what are these people doing? I don't get it. I can't make my mind just visualize. It was so foreign to me. So it has taken me time to be able to tap into the power of visualization. But what I would say is the number one thing that helps me when I'm going to do a visualization, because my mind is always thinking about so many different things, is to do a big brain dump before I actually start that process. So I'll literally get a piece of paper and a pen and write out, like, just whatever comes out in my mind. Just write it all out, because often we can't move forward in visualization because our mind's going off and it's distracting us, and we get this sense that, oh, but I've got to do that thing and that thing and that thing, and I'm going to forget if I don't think about it now. So when you brain dump and just put it all out on paper, it's like you're telling yourself, all right, I hear you. We've got it covered. I'll come back to this. And that, to me, has been a really a great breakthrough for me in order to really get the benefits of visualization. To when you are doing the visualizations, to focus on the feelings that you want to generate. That's where there's so much power, like I've spoken into earlier. So hope that has been helpful to you. Leone, thank you for the question. And Yvette, awesome to have you here. And Miritesh, thank you so much for joining. I'm just going to answer this last question because I'm not sure, again, like I could talk all day like you guys know. So I don't want to make it too long, but I've got this last question from Floyd, who asked me, how do I find my positive energy? And I've had a few amazing compliments from you guys who have said, love your energy, love your positivity. And that means a lot to me because ultimately I feel most like me when I'm being enthusiastic, when I'm being passionate, when I'm being positive. And it was really funny the other day, just to tell you a quick story. I've been getting awesome compliments from you guys, but there was this one woman who reached out to me and she told me, stop shouting. I can't even watch how expressive you are. You know, I'm over it. Like, stop shouting and blah, 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 right? And I thought, oh, okay, all right. And, you know, honestly, my past self would probably look at a message like that, and that's the thing that would have prevented me from getting on a Facebook Live, because I would have been in fear around, you know, one person's negative response to me. You know, I'm not the messenger for her, you know. And what ultimately, because I know I am so on my path, because I know I've tapped into this next layer of who I really am, what I really want, and stepping forward, you know, and building that courage to go after it. The funny thing happens when that happens for you is that you see those potential negative comments and you see them for what they are, and you don't take them personally. You kind of let them slide off. And honestly, I just had a bit of compassion for this woman, because nobody ever gets aggressive like that when they're feeling really centered and loving within themselves. When they know who they are, when they know what they want, and they're on that path and they're going for it, they feel like they've got to pull other people down. So, bit of a side note there, but it just triggered me to think about that then, because of the lovely compliment that Floyd's given me in terms of positive energy. And also I got a message from a friend the night before. I read that message and I went to sleep, and then I woke up to a beautiful message from a friend telling me that, you know, they've been watching my Facebook Lives and loving them and loving the energy. So, you know, you're not going to resonate with everybody, but ultimately my answer to that question is that when you are on your path, like, you just radiate positivity. You just radiate authenticity and energy, and there's no better feeling. And I believe that it's something that, you know, I'm feeling amazing within myself right now, but I know there's more layers. You know, I know there's many fears and some subconscious limiting beliefs that are holding me back, that I'm on the path to break through. And I believe that it's a journey that never ever ends. So Floyd, I would say to you that, you know, getting more positive energy into your life is when you are being positive towards yourself. When you are giving yourself the time of day to tap into your truth about who you are and what you want, and believing in yourself that you can create it, you can be it, and you can move forward towards that. And that is ultimately what my experience and belief has been around that positivity and that energy. When you're being you, you're full of energy. When you're trying to be somebody you're not, you're drained of energy. All right, so I hope that has helped. And yeah, thank you so much, Yvette. Yeah, again, and Caroline. It's so meaningful to me that this is being of value to you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. I've got through those questions, so I'm glad about that. If you guys have any last quick comments, questions, I'll hit them up now. But otherwise, you know, like always, guys, it is just my pleasure to jump on here, and I love so much that so many of you are coming back and joining me, because I love connecting and building these relationships, and you mean so much to me. And thank you so much, Anne. I love that you love it, because yeah, that makes me feel awesome, because ultimately I'm being me. So if you love me for me, that warms my heart like nothing else can. So thank you so much, Anne. Appreciate all of you for joining me. It's always my pleasure. Make sure that you drop me any questions or topics, anything that you'd like me to talk about. share a fresh perspective on. And definitely, if you want to connect personally with me, I'd love that. I'd love to get to meet you and jump on a video, quick call with you, and just meet you where you're at, check in with your current set of challenges, and see how I can best help and support you and give you a fresh perspective that can help you break through and move forward in the direction of what you really, really want. So hope that this has been valuable to you guys. Thank you again for joining me. Lots and lots and lots of love and light and gratitude and massive loads of positive energy coming right at you. And I can't wait to see you all again tomorrow. I hope that you'll join me.